All right, we're live. Hangout on Air is live. What's up, guys? Just putting this together here since I have a torn ACL, so a little tough to get around. And met with Coach uh, Coach Max and Tom, and going to talk about inside zone blocking and some things we're going to try to do program wide to make the teaching of it easier and make our execution of it improved as well. I'm going to have this little packet for everybody. It'll be in part of the playbook. We'll get that by the summertime. In the meantime, I'm also gonna put this up on Huddle and try to break it up a little bit too, so that you don't have to listen to the whole video each time. So just want to go over some of our terms. Okay, we're talking about inside zone here. So we have our play side and our backside line. Obviously, our play side. If we're going, let's just say, for example, we're talking Whopper. Our play side is everybody to the right. Our backside lineman would be our left guard and our left tackle. We also use that term as far as, when we're going to be talking about alignment as well. Do we have, are we covered? So if we're covered, a lineman has a man on him. Now we also got to know, are we covered on our play side? In other words, are we covered the direction? Is there a man shaded on us to the play side of the play? Because that's going to change our technique and our rules. Or is there a guy covered backside? There's a man shaded to the backside of the play. Uncovered, okay, no one's on us. There's no shade on us. And with that, we are going to have a couple terms that we want to use, basically three of them that should kind of be telling our guys what to do. Our lateral step and climb is for an uncovered technique. We're going to lateral step to check the defensive line movement, and then we're going to climb to the linebacker, and we'll just call that LSC for short, lateral step climb. Lateral step drive, we're drive blocking on a down lineman. All right, that we'll use that when we're covered on our play side. And then our last technique for when we're covered on our backside, and we'll get into this, we're going to call it a jab technique. And way I'm thinking of that is it's a one-hand punch on a backside down lineman. And just like anyone that's boxed or took any kind of boxing, if you throw a left jab, you're also stepping with your left foot. So we want to teach when we're doing a jab technique, we're going to be stepping with that foot. So it might kind of be, if we're in Whopper and we got a backside taking on our left side, we would be stepping with our left foot, even though the play is going to the right. Also, too, how we're numbering people instead of holes, because we are going to be in a little bit different of a calling system this year, along with Whopper slider. For example, 20 is going to be our running back game. 0 is inside zone to the right, so we'll call that 20 Whopper. And then 21 would be slider. It could be called 21 slider. But you can see our guys are numbered here. But for inside zone, we need to know 0 and 1 is our inside zone concept. We'll talk later on with the other plays are to go with it. For example, 2 and 3 is going to be our trap series. 4 and 5 will be our power, our counter series. 6 and 7 will be our pin and pull series. And 8 or 9 will be our jet or outside zone series. So, but for today, 0 and 1 for inside zone. And here, we want to talk about some aiming points a little bit. We want to coach up aiming points, even though we expect our kids to be in a drive position on our guys. But we want to think up through the play side A gap. We're trying to get to the play side number. In other words, we're almost trying to reach them. So we're trying to get to the play side of the guy, his half. So if we're running Whopper, that means we want to get to that guy's right number. That's where we want our helmet to finish on its right side. And that's why we're going to take that lateral step to try to get that. Is the expectation we're always going to be there? No, a lot of times we'll be in a drive position. And we do expect our running back to read the block and make the appropriate things. But if we're all working towards that same number, when we're working together, we're understanding we're both going to be working towards the same goal and not kind of against each other. Outside the B gap out here, let's just run a Whopper, obviously we're going to be working the inside number or just a drive. And again, our running back has to make everybody correct. So we're going to have some combo calls. If you're a covered lineman play side, how we're going to do this. So our center is going to be really responsible, and you could do it with your quarterback as well. So we want our center to identify the mic every play. All right. And we'll have to come up with some different code words and things like that to get the communication going. But our center should come up on a play and say, okay, here's the mic. I'm going to point at him. 52 is the mic, 52 is the mic. And then that's going to basically set all of our double teams so we all know who we're working to. The center will then make his next call because he's got to decide if he's got a shade on him, because that's going to change what his block is. But in this example here, he's got no shade on him. So he knows I'm going to be working to the right with our right guard, and he's going to make a scrape call. So a scrape call is a combo with the center and the play side guard to that linebacker. All right, so in this case here, he's going to take a lateral step and climb because he wants to check for any kind of slant or movement that the guy that he's comboing with is going to be making. Okay, so our center and his scrape call, he's going to take a lateral step and climb, making sure that we're securing that mic and making sure if there's any kind of game, he's able to pick it up. Our right guard, he's going to lateral step and drive. Okay, we want him to be basically, we're going to be taking his inside number in this case, possibly a head up position. All right, and we're going to be drive blocking. And if he starts to work inside, we know we're going to get help from the center. So scrape, our combo with our center and our play side guard, that could go either direction. Our deuce call is our backside guard and our backside tackle call. All right, so that's a combo. So when he calls scrape, all right, we know here that we can make our call now. We'll have a deuce call, and we'll get into some of our other pin and pull calls a little later on. So this is a basic over front. We'll get a scrape and a deuce. We'll be able to work these double teams. Again, we're going to lateral step and drive. We're going to lateral step and climb, making sure we're looking for any kind of gains for that tackle onto our will linebacker. In our 20 series, we'll block the DN with our H-back or a fullback. Going down here, we get a shade on our center, so that's gonna change our call a little bit. All right, if we get a shade on our center, we know we're not gonna be able to get a double team with our guard and our backside tackle, so we're gonna have a different call now. We're gonna make our center is gonna identify the mic, and now he's gonna make an ace call. An ace call is saying that, hey, I need to work with my backside guard. I've already identified the mic, and we're going to work in this direction together. Ace also kind of lets everybody else know, hey, everyone else is solo now. All right, this tackle, he's got a lateral step and get into this get to this will linebacker, make a good cutoff on him. Our right guard will be solo, our right tackle will be solo. Our only combo will be here. When we get into 30 fronts later on, we could talk about that a little more, because at times we will have combo calls here, but right now we're focusing on our deuce, ace, and scrape calls. So ace calls too, that'll help us. We had a little trouble varsity last year of discussions of when we had a tough one technique. And here last year we were just kind of letting the guard take them, and it didn't work out very well. So now if we're shaded on our nose, we're going to make our ace call. So now let's see our next one here. That's 1-1. All right, so let's talk about those techniques that we're going to use when we're making our ace calls or our scrape calls, our deuce calls. What we want to do, we're going to consider an O-line is covered on the back side of the play call. He's going to use a jab technique. All right, so again, that's going to be a one-hand punch to help the uncovered lineman take over the block. On a jab technique, we want 3 hands on a D lineman. We need 4 eyes on that linebacker, making sure that we're ready to pick him up. So again, here we have an under front now. Our center is going to ID the mic. Hey, 52 is the mic. All right. And now we make our calls. Okay. Our center makes the first call. He's going to make our scrape call because he doesn't have a shade on him. And in this case, our right guard, he has he's covered, but he's covered on his inside. He's covered on his inside technique. All right. So that means we want to use a jab on him and let our center try to work to this tackle. So he's going to punch with his left hand, step with his left. All right. Oh, great. I'm getting a virus. That's awesome. Step with his left, punch with his left. Our center will lateral step and ideally get in a good drive position. And our running back will be reading that block. All right. And our deuce call, we have the same thing. Our left guard, he's covered out his inside. He's going to use a jab technique. He's going to step with his left, punch with his left, but his eyes will be on this will linebacker. When you're using a jab technique, your expectation is that your partner is going to take over the block. So I'm never jabbing thinking that I'm going to take over the block. I'm jabbing because my expectation is I'm going to be jabbing and climbing. All right, I'm going to jab and I'm going to climb to this backer here. So here we've got 20 whoppers to call. Identify the mic. Scrape, scrape, scrape. He knows he's going to use his jab technique because of how he's covered. So we see jab, step, jab and climb. Our center, lateral step and drive. Our left guard, he's going to jab and climb. Our left tackle, he's going to lateral step and drive. And then we're all working together to get the front blocked. Right, and again, I kind of just repeated the calls a little bit, what they are. Deuce is a double team with the backside guard and tackle. Scrape is our center and play side guard. And then ace is our center when he's going to be solo. All right, and down here we just have a couple examples here of 21 slider with our different techniques. Okay, so now we're working to the left. Our center identifies, hey, 51. 51's the mic, 51's the mic. All right. He's covered on his play side, so we will lateral step drive, lateral step climb. He's covered on his play side. We got our deuce call here, lateral step drive, and lateral step climb, read or block the end, depending on the play. And we'll go from there. And then here, 21 slider again, but now we're in the underfront. We'll identify the will. Hey, we have our scrape call, but my left guard knows I'm covered on my inside, so I'm going to use my jab technique. Jab and climb, lateral step and drive. Jab and climb, lateral step and drive. And again, that's why we want to try to work to those play side numbers, okay, so that we get a good angle so our running back has a running lane to get in there. All right, and running back's responsible for reading the block properly, for pressing the line, making backers commit to make the line right. Here is just some little bit of talks of how we want the play to finish. If we're looking down here at the bottom, it's a play side scrape with the inside shade. When we first start out, okay, our first step is going to be that punch at this guy, our right hand punch, right foot step. All right, and then that's going to give our center a chance to get on him. All right, and then we're going to climb to that backer. Ideally, in the play, the center gets this guy reached because he had his help from the right guard, and we're able to scoot this play a little bit wider than we would have. So we expect that our inside zone play is going to look like a couple different plays because we're going to block it based on how the front is going to look. All right, so here's an overall for our O-line combo calls and some of our pins that are pin and pulls that will go with it. So here we're looking at our deuce. Again, deuce, this is all for 20 whopper. Deuce is our backside combo. All right. And a lot of times if we get that 3 technique and we're having trouble with that combo, what we'll do is we'll pin and pull it. And with deuce is going to be blast. Okay. Blast, we're going to pin the tackle with our guard and we're going to pull our guard's going to pull the tackle and our left tackle will pull and be responsible for this backer. So these two, instead of working a double team to get them, we'll pin and pull and get the same blocks accomplished. So blast is going to go with deuce. Okay. So now we have here we have our ace call. Okay. Again, our ace is our center and backside guard when we have a shaded center. Okay. Our center backside guard. In this combo, again, our center would jab and climb, expecting our guard to take this over. All right. And then over here, our other option to do that, we'll make a bang call. All right. We'll make a bang call. On the lower levels, I believe you guys were calling this devil and something else. I can't think of the term right now. But we'll call this bang. And we're just going to pull, and now the guard is going to go and basically ISO that mic. So we end up being a little more solo, but what the advantage we gain is angles. So we get a good angle on that shade, and we're able to get this play. Obviously, our running back has to kind of understand I'm always reading the blocks of the center. Okay, so when this center gets him pinned, I need to know that, hey, this is where that play is going to go. And then here we have our scrape. Our scrape is our strong side combo with our center and our right guard. And in this case, we have a jab and climb, try to reach it, Should have a nice running lane. If we're having trouble with that combo, and just another way to change it up, we have what's going to be called our slip call. Our slip, we're going to pin inside, and our right guard is going to slip inside. So it looks a little different, but it should be a nice little change up for us to change how it looks, but yet still run the same play. The one thing when we make a slip call, we probably don't want to call a blast call. I don't think we're going to have the room in there. The other thing, I haven't talked about this before this. We want to get our O-line back more off the line. We've kind of gone back and forth on this the last couple of years, but this year we want to move our guys back kind of as legally as possible. So our helmets of our right guard should align with the hips of our center, and then everyone else lines up appropriately. So we'll be off the ball a little bit. That'll give us time to react and give us time to get our head placement and shoulder placement in the right spots. And also, if we're going to be pinning and pulling a little more this season, it'll give us good angles to accomplish that. All right, so let's look at a couple clips of our combos and talk through exactly what we would be looking at and coaching at. Now, these are not exemplary clips by any means. And you'll see we had quite a few different problems when we got back to this later in the year. Coach Hardy and I, we kind of got away from doing this. And in 2016, we did this every day. And then this year, we kind of forgot about it. I think with struggling and the struggles we had, we just, it happens. So here we have, we're running inside zone to the right. So let's just talk through what we would do starting with our center here. All right, so our center is going to make 5's the mic here. All right, 5's the mic. Okay, if you don't trust your center, you could use our quarterback. But I say let's start teaching our centers, our O-line right away. 5's the mic. All right, now what call are we going to have here? We're going to have a scrape call. So that's telling him and my right center's telling the right guard, scrape, 5's the mic, scrape, scrape. We're going to be working our combo to him. All right, so we can see right now, Hosty's got an inside, it's almost uncovered, but he's got an inside man, okay, inside shade, covered on his backside because the play is going to the right. So what's his technique? He's going to use a jab technique. He's going to step with his left foot, punch with his left hand, step with his left foot, and that's going to give our center a chance to take that over, okay, and we should be good to go. And our back will read that block by him and ideally get it right through this way over here. Same thing back here. We're going to have a deuce call, all right? So in a deuce call, our two-man combo is right here. We're going to step with our left or punch with our left and step with our left, letting our left tackle take that block over as we combo up to that backer. All right, so he'll use a jab technique, he'll lateral step and drive, and we should be good to go. And we'll see here, we get some movement here, but I think if we watch Hosty, our right guard here, he kind of does exactly what we're looking for, but I would just stay on that a little bit longer. And then we want Sully not to step back, but lateral step and get that cut off over there. All right, take a lateral step because Hosty's going to give a little bit better of a punch on that, and then we can get a good running lane in there. We're going to have a nice play here, even though we're executing it not great. But here, our left guard, again, we're going to use a punch technique instead of totally turning them. All right, and right now we got two guys kind of pushing against each other. Okay, our left guard and our left tackle, half their energy is going against each other, and we don't have anyone really looking at this. So we want him to step with his left and punch with his left, but our left tackle will lateral step with his right and then look to take that over and get this play completely cut off. All right, so if we get to that backer, we're going to have a much better play on that. So then let's walk through some of our pin and pull calls that we could have with this. We're not going to pin and pull this way with our center on inside zone because that's gives too much risk of penetration. But we could pin and pull right here and make our blast call. So we have a deuce combo where we're blasted. So now we'll pin this here, and our tackle will be able to come around and kind of ISO on that mic. instead of doing that lean together, we might get a real nice play in here just by how crease. If we get to that backer a little better, we're gonna have a nice crease. And our running back Devion was hurt a lot of the year last year. He should be hard up there, not looking to bounce this outside. I didn't get a chance to look at many of these clips. I just have them together, but I mean, you can see the same kind of thing. We get a pull here. But let's just look at what our calls would be. All right, we're gonna have inside zone to the right. 5's the mic. All right, scrape, scrape, scrape. Deuce, deuce, deuce. All right, and our blast call is probably a nice option here with this 3 technique, and we'll get it. We could pull and lead around. All right, now he slants. All right. So we get a slant out of this guy, but if we're taking the right steps and not a back step, we shouldn't get a slant like that. If he were to slant, we just have to take him now and ideally read it. So let's look at our play side here, play side combo. All right. It's not terrible, but Hosty what we want to coach up is don't turn. We're going to put 3 hands on this guy and climb. Okay. And we don't have to go anywhere. Just have your eyes on this backer. All right. This backer's basically just blitzing at this point. And we get a bad snap. All right, so here we go. We got 5's a mic. All right, so here's a good example here, right? So let's look at this side. He's definitely shaded on his inside, so he's thinking left jab, left step. All right, and our center is going to be able to take it over as we climb to this backer over here. So we're going to have a scrape call here. Here we're going to have our deuce call, and we definitely have an option of making a blast call with it. We end up with probably a decent combo here on our right side. And as we're going, if just be a little more patient, we see they kind of slant into it, but Hossy's trying to get 2 hands instead of 1. And our left guard is wasn't great. You can see he's stepping left. You can see his first step is left. Like when we take that jab step, we want that step to be straight ahead. Like it's just going to be basically a fire step, 6-inch step. Almost put your foot up, put it down. Ideally, we'll get a decent play here. As you can see, we were not doing too well. So now here we have the other way. So now we're going slider. All right, here's our mic. We're going to have a scrape call, center and strong side, center and play side guard or strong side guard going to the strength. And back here, we're going to have our deuce call. Okay, so our combo is here, our combo is there. And you can see right now, like we're not in any kind of good position to block this linebacker here. We're much better on the left side. And even on the left, we can see Sully is kind of stepping too far to his right instead of straight ahead. And don't put 2 hands on this guy. All right, let's just put 1 hand on him. And now DC knows I have to get over there. And DC could take a lateral step instead of just kind of like DC just see how he almost takes a false step and it's coming the wrong way. So lateral step, getting a good drive position. Sully just punches and then climbs. And if we get to this backer here, we're going to have a really nice running lane through there. We still make a nice move off of it, so we're okay. And this would be a good shot to do a blast. All right, deuce, blast, get an angle, pin and pull it. Let's take a look at a couple more clips here. And we can see our quarterback here I mean, he's definitely not looking at this DN. I don't know exactly what he's looking at because the DN just made the play. All right, so here we're making our we got a scrape call. Here's the mic, scrape, deuce, read the end. Okay, this is Jack Rice at guard. You can see, not really sure on his steps at this point. Puts two hands on him. Our back has to make this right though, so our back is taught to cut off of this. So our back would make this cut if it was there, because this can happen. And if the end came upfield, we're going to have a really nice cutback lane for our running back. Okay, so this will happen. Our backs are taught, read this backside technique as he's pressing the center, and it would have been there. You could see our blocking backs going through. So those are our calls, guys. Any questions, we could, shoot me a text. We'll talk about it. I'll try to get this up on the huddle. And, as we go on, getting ready for the season, once I'm back, we could watch some more cut ups and get through things. So hopefully this helps explain some of our terminology, and I hope to see you guys soon.